Howdy do, guys. Should I fade out like I'm a DJ? That works. Derp. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome everybody. Welcome, Barb, to Dark Night of the Soul. We're gonna have a great show today. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, me too. First time we
Yeah.
ever done this together.
I
This is cool.
know. I know.
Yeah.
It's so
Welcome.
cute, and it won't be the last, I'm sure.
I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm really happy that we're here again, and we're going to go into Barb's story today. Also, happy birthday, Molly, in the
Yes.
chat.
Happy birthday to my sister Molly. She's 24 years old today.
Aw,
Yes.
just to be
So
24 again. Oh,
I would not like to be 24 again. I would like to be, no, I actually really am happy with the age that I am. I think
Me
that's
too.
one thing about the three of us that we all kind of share in common is that we are like we embrace our age and we are happy with where we are
yep.
as human beings now. I mean, I think that speaks to the Dark Night of the Soul also, because that growth makes you look back and you're like, okay, that's not desirable at all. Yes, of course, there are beautiful things about youth, but there are so many beautiful things about the wisdom you get as you get older.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I decided to go semi Pamela Anderson today.
I love it.
And I thought, you know what? I'm fed up with it. I don't want to put all that makeup on my eyes anymore. Got lipstick, obviously. But, I figured it actually makes me look older. And
You look cute. You do look youthful. You do look youthful. That
yeah,
I back it. I'm so
it's,
happy.
it's so nice. I can just be in my eyes and just, you
I
know,
know. That's why I love
I can just,
rub. No, no,
yeah, I know. Oh my
You guys
God.
spend too much time with cats. That's what the problem is. You're just like used to preening. I cannot rub my eyes, however. I will turn into Alice Cooper, but that's all right.
You're a trip. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so first of all, for those of you who don't know, Barb and I go way back. Do you want to tell a little bit like who you are and how you're linked to this community and how you've been around forever?
Well, I mean, I've been in the background, but I'm Abs's wife. Absolute truth. Yeah,
Yes.
1776. I'm his wife. Um, he has been in this for good God, how many years, Kate? You and him know each other way longer than you and I know each other. But
Right.
that's how we met, was through Absolute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've gone back 3 years now, almost four,
Yeah.
almost four, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I just one day Paul was like, "All right, let's get you out there too," and I'm like, "All right, let me get a part of this crew." So here I am. I'm a part of the crew.
And
I mean,
you're a beautiful part. I mean, like your energy, you've always just been you're so bubbly, you're so friendly. I don't think you'll meet a kinder person than Barb in the world, really. I mean, so it's wonderful to have. I think it's, we're like when we first get started, we're like, well, why would I do that? Why I'm just me. I'm just a regular
right,
person.
right. And I mean, like I came from like I said, from the background. I didn't know much because, to be honest, Paul did hide this stuff from me because, I mean, at the time, him and I weren't really that close. We were married, but we weren't that close. But he kept it away from me. And then at one point, he was like, okay, she needs to know what's going on.
Right.
So he fills me in and I start getting into it. And he was like, all right, she's really getting into this and she's really opening her eyes to this stuff. Let's let her come out. So that's what I did. I just came out alongside him, supporting him, doing, helping him with his stuff. And he ended up getting together with Stormy Joe and becoming, at first, Eye of the Storm. And then now they're Absolute Storm on their own, which is
Yeah.
amazing. They're doing
Amazing.
great. But I mean, I help them a lot. We have our own little crew. Like, we decode, we do all this stuff together. We get memes, we get videos. We help the guys with the show. Like, I enjoy doing that. And sharing everybody's stuff and getting involved is what I love doing.
And it's so cute. And I love the way you guys support each other. And I love how you work like that as a team. You know, I'm like you. Actually, Patricia is as well. Like, that's another thing that we all kind of have in common. We would actually all prefer to be in the background. But there comes a point where you're like, you're just a little bit more effective if you're actually putting yourself out there. There are things that you can do. And once you start to feel a little bit more comfortable, you're like, well, you know what? I can support in behind the scenes, but I can also lend my own voice because every
Right.
single voice is unique. And obviously you bring something different to the table than your husband does, than I do, than Patricia does. So
Right.
it's like, it's a beautiful thing, but I love the way that you guys support each other and work as a team. And it really does take a village. I hate that expression, but it really does take a village in this community. It's like everybody kind of helps each other.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah.
whole thing is that we are in an information war. We are in a spiritual war. We are
Yeah.
trying to help each other through that. We get through it. One person gets through it and they have to reach back and they have to help others through it. Oh, kitty cat.
It's cute, kitty.
Aw.
It's cute, kitty.
Oh,
Aw.
it's such a cutie.
Sweet
He's
baby.
adorable. It's about dinner time, so he's going to be bugging me a little bit, but don't worry about that. Daddy's got that one on control tonight.
No problem. So tell us a little bit about your like the awakening experience that you had and where you were in life and, you know, the whole transition thing.
So I was a military child, so I moved around a lot. I wasn't a stable person. Being a military person, a military child moving around and stuff, you're really not that stable. You're moving every 3 to 4 years, sometimes 5 years. So it was rough. When we finally decided to settle down, it was here in North Carolina. I got into a lot of trouble, rebelling as a child would. Um, I did a lot of things I regret, but like you said at the beginning, I've grown from it and I've looked back and said, you know what? That's what made me who I am today. So I went through a lot of trials and tribulations. Met Paul. He was a drummer at the time, and I was a local promoter for local bands. So we met in that scene. We got together. Dated for about 3 years, I think it was. And then we decided we were going to get engaged. Got engaged, got married, um, had some rough parts there. Both of us went through some really dark stuff. I became a model to try and hide everything because obviously you want affection from somebody and
Right.
something. So my dark spot was literally the modeling industry.
Mm.
Kate, we've been there. The modeling industry is not that great at times. It can be fun. Um, especially me. I was doing creative stuff, so I would get dressed up and stuff like that, and have fun. Like we did a Mad Hatter, Alice in Wonderland type theme. I was one theme. I was a Mad Hatter. One theme. I was a rabbit. Um, all kinds of weird stuff. Because that was my creative side. Um, moving on, we get to my mom and my grandmother passing. That was part of me waking up. Um, Losing them within a week at the same time
Yeah.
was really difficult, especially my mom. Um, she was my best friend. So losing her started that journey of talking to God and looking to God and finding Him. Then we lose the house. We have a
Tell
house
people
fire.
how you tell how people how.
Paul and I, we were in jujitsu. We get a phone call, get home. Um, Literally, it was our house was on fire, and we lost everything in the house fire. Everything but our cats, our his mom and dad, and our jujitsu gear.
So
Now
weird.
that Kate knows that story. That whole story was so weird because to this day, the firefighter that saved our stuff, we can't find him. And he is a tall guy. You can't miss this guy, like taller than Paul. And we can't find him. So we call him our angel for that
Right.
day because you can't just hide a guy that's like this tall. Like, you
Right.
can't hide him in a fire department too. At that, a fire department.
And I would imagine
Nobody,
fire departments are not that big. They don't have that many people working, right?
right, that are that tall. Like, I would assume you would know a tall. But anyways, so we go through that, and then about 3 years later, we lose Paul's mom.
Mm.
That was hard too, for both of us, because Paul's mom and I became really, really close, especially after my mom passed away. Me and his mom became really close. So we lose her, and our faith with losing her got it a lot stronger. I don't know exactly what it was, but we started doing more together, doing prayers together, reading the Bible together. Like, it happened like that. I mean, it was
Did
an
you
instant.
did you have faith previous to that
Oh
or
yeah, I mean, we did. We had faith, and it just, I guess with the trials that we went through, it just, going through it together made us stronger individually and as a couple together.
Mm.
We even fixed our marriage during this whole process.
Wow.
We were literally, at one point, we were literally just kind of roommates, as he would say. Like, it was literally roommates living together, and we were like, God was like, nope, 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 nope. It was like he was blocking us from leaving each other, because he was like, no, you two are meant to be together, but you have to go through this to fix you, yourself, and then fix it together as a couple and make yourselves stronger. So that's what happened. Like, all that process literally brought us to God even stronger, and as a couple together stronger. And Kate, you know what's about to come. not but a not but a couple weeks ago, my husband and I, we renewed our vows,
Wow.
and we got baptized at the same time, one right after another, together in the Gulf of America.
Wow.
so
So
much.
we gave our life literally to each other and to God, all in one day. All in one day.
It's incredible because, you guys made that commitment when you were younger, but it doesn't mean anything until you really get it. And now it means
Hmm.
so much more because you actually have an understanding
Yeah.
of what those things are, what they symbolize, what you are actually doing when you make that kind of a commitment. It's very real. They're not just words. It's not just like a romantic notion.
No, it really isn't. It's Paul and I learned a lot about each other during this whole process, things that we didn't even know. And I mean, we're still learning, because God still he's like, you don't need to learn this just yet, but here's a little bit of this that you can learn about each other, or learn together. I mean, lately we've been doing some traveling together, and that right there has brought us together even more, because we get to do it
Mm.
together, and not like, no, we're going on a vacation, or, oh, we're going on a trip. No,
Right.
it's like, oh my God, we're going on a trip together. Oh
We
my
could go
God, this
bye-bye.
is so
We
much,
could go
this is so much
bye-bye.
fun, because you get to enjoy it. You don't know,
Right.
okay, so what are we going to do tonight? What are we going to do, tomorrow night? How do you want to plan this? It's like, okay, what are we doing? Like, and during that whole process, you learn to get closer to each other. You learn to open up and talk, because
Yeah.
during those times, especially when you're doing a road trip like what we did for Florida, we were going to fly, but we were like, you know what, a road trip would be fun. So we
Mm.
drove, and we talked
Mm,
during that. So it's like God gives you these doors, and he's like, okay, you could go and fly, get there,
right,
have fun, do your thing, come
Mm.
home.
right.
Or I can give you this. You can enjoy each other's time together, learn more about each other, and have a great time doing it together. So God's opened so many doors for us here recently, and it's just been beautiful, and I've been enjoying it.
But it's incredible because, especially when it's grief and then triple, right? And then And then also losing the house, it can go both ways, right? It can
Mm-hmm.
go completely, because you see that with a lot of couples when, they go through something really rough, they can't manage to stay together. Whereas it's very special actually that you managed to overcome that point, that you got together again, I guess. Although you were together, obviously, but kind of fall in love again, I guess. And overcoming those incredible challenges is not easy. I mean, on your own it's already not easy, but with two people, right? It's wow, it's an incredible story. And losing a house in a fire, that's another thing that I cannot even fathom. I have never, thank God, I mean, knock knock, I have no experience with that
Right.
whatsoever, not even surrounding me. But when I think about that, I mean, that must be a hell, because
It
yeah.
really was, because I mean, y- we lost our wedding stuff.
Oh,
I lost some stuff from when I was a child. Paul's mom and dad, all the stuff that they accumulated throughout their marriage and their life together with the boys, it was all gone in a blink of an eye. And I
wow.
mean, for them, like it made Paul and I grow really quick in that moment, because we had to take care of them. We were like, they're not going to deal with this. We're the kids. We need to take care of them now. They've done enough for us. It's our turn. So it was like we had to take care of them. That was our priority, but they lost everything. I mean, there was maybe a little bit of this and that here and there that we could save. Like, I went back one last time, and this one still gets Paul and his dad. I was looking around the house to see if I could find anything at all before we just say, throw our hands up, we're done with it.
Mm.
I found Paul's little baseball mitt
Oh.
and baseball, and I found
Mm.
his dad's mitt, and I saved them both and brought them to the hotel. And both of them bawled, and then they went out in the parking lot and started throwing ball, like playing
Oh,
catch.
Oh.
So
wow.
that was a moment for me. That's when I also knew God was there. Like it took a toll on Paul. Me, my mom always taught me, you are the strong one. Always stay strong. So through this whole process and losing my mom, not but a month late prior. So I'm like trying to deal with that and then be strong for the family and help them. It was a lot. And I ain't gonna lie. Like Paul knows now, I held a lot in to be strong for this family that took me in. Like they took me in. They didn't have to. Okay? Like they didn't have to, and they did. Um and I just felt obligated to help because of their kindness, and I felt like Carol and Buff were my angels at the time, that I needed to be with them. Like when I found Paul, I was in a dark, 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 dark place. And his mom and his dad are very spiritual people, very
Mm.
godly people. So that was my opening to a godly family. My mom was Catholic, don't get me wrong. But she didn't push any of that stuff on us. We didn't really talk about God. We really didn't talk about this. My dad, I don't know where he stands. Sometimes I'm like, and sometimes I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, well, and then he does something like really weird. But that's my dad. He's a sailor, so he's an ex-sailor, so he's hard to read. But I mean, it was never in my childhood to God was not really there, if that makes sense. Like my mom
Right.
didn't push it on me. She didn't push religion on me. But when I came to Paul's family, and seeing how Carol was about God and angels and stuff like that, she kind of reminded me of my mom in that aspect. And then I started being, because they did it gently. They didn't boom on me like a lot of families would. I have
Right.
some family members that are hardcore. I mean,
Mhm.
hardcore. But they push it, but they didn't. They were like, here's this, here's that.
Mm.
And so we're me and his father still talk about it to this day. Like I still learn things from his dad. And it's beautiful because he's an elder. Like that's how I look at him, like a wizard, an elder. Like you pay
Yeah.
attention to smart people like that and people with knowledge like that. You pay attention to them, and
Yes.
that's why I love talking to his father. And when his mother was here, that's why I love talking to her about it. But they opened that door saying, basically, try it again. Just try it again. And here I am, like 20 years with this family. Here I am.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you, because you mentioned that, you wanted to be strong, and so you kept staying strong for everybody. But did you get actually the chance to release that as well? Because you
I
know,
did. I
right?
did. I got to do it on my own time and my own. I think it was literally after we moved into this house is when I was finally like, okay, I can do me now and just break down everything and move on. I still miss my mom
Of course.
so much. And it's been almost 6 years, or it has been 6 years, and I'm like, I miss her because there's things that I'm going through in life that I would love to have her answers to instead of going to this person or that person or this person. But I think she surrounded me, sorry, with good
Mm.
people
And
in my
her
life.
answers are in you. Her answers are already in you. You know, she embedded so much wisdom and knowledge in you that you might not even recognize yet. You
Right.
know, you are a byproduct of her. And I
Hmm.
can tell you, like, I just want to hug you as I mean, and as a mom, I just want you to know that I mean, Patricia and I have talked about how these are seemingly terrible times that people are put through, and then at the end of it you're like, oh, that's why it had to happen that way.
Hmm.
And while there's never a time that you're going to say to yourself, oh, it was a good thing that we lost our mothers,
Right.
that's not going to come.
No.
But what I can tell you is that as a mom, your goal, your whole goal for your child is for them to grow up and have somebody like you and Paul have each other. Like, I want to be my son's one and only right now, but I know that part of raising him and being his mother is getting him to a place where he will go out into the world and he will find somebody that loves him and he will be loving back. To have that kind
Yep.
of a thing, that's the way it's meant to be. That's the natural progression of in life. We're always going to lose our parents at one
Hmm.
time or another. It's we're never really ready for it. But if both of your mothers, well, both of your mothers are looking down at you guys, knowing that this was the circumstance that was going to bring you guys together so that you would have each other in the way that it's literally meant to be.
Hmm. Yeah, and I agree. I absolutely agree because both of us, yeah, we both have our fathers. They're not spring chickens anymore. But I mean, my dad, especially my dad's going through a lot of health issues. He's a cancer survivor right now. We're still going through a lot of tests because he's having a lot of problems. But I get scared of losing my last parent. Um, and that that hits me every day because of his health and the way he is right now. Like I wake up every morning going, am I getting that text message or am I getting that phone call? And with Paul's dad, I love because he keeps going. I love him. He's like the Energizer Bunny. Like he's like, I'm not giving up. I'm not, and he does
Yeah.
it. He's still like he's in his 70s and he still does a lot of stuff. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff. Like people in his, but you think about it. A lot of people in his age really are starting to like break down.
Yeah.
Paul's dad's not like, and we take care of him. Like, hey, dad, eat this, eat that, because we want him healthy with us. So
Yeah.
we take care of him. Like, but my dad's literally breaking down and it scares me. But as long as I have Paul and I have Paul's dad and my family around me, I think I can do it. I think I can make it through anything. Anything.
For sure. For sure. That's what it's preparing you for too. I mean,
Hmm.
that's the other goal is that, we make these connections. The connections are important for us to learn about ourselves and grow. And we don't take anyone with us when we leave. It's all about whatever growth we've had and being able to stand on our own 2 feet. And it's interesting how it comes about through connecting to other people and relying on other people that you actually can learn how to trust yourself and rely on yourself.
Right. Right.
Right. But you know what I find special as well, and I can relate to this. You were talking about um, this firefighter that appeared out of nowhere and just went. And I had a similar experience, that in the biggest crisis, then all of a sudden there was this man standing there, and I had him even in my phone, and I tried to look it back, and it was just gone. I couldn't call back nothing. That man saved me, and that's a whole different story. It's not about me, but I wanted to point out that it's so special that when things like that happen, that you cannot explain, but at the same time there's this really deep feeling inside of you that just knows, this was meant to happen. And
Hmm.
we don't need all the answers on things, but that I do believe there are angels literally that can
Oh, yeah.
save us. And yeah, I've experienced it myself as well. It was amazing. And again, also a really tall big guy, in this case a big black African guy, and it was
Ours was a. I didn't. I didn't want to
amazing.
bring
You
color
guys have the
into it,
same
but
angel.
he was literally a tall black man, and I
I
mean,
get goosebumps.
I'm like, just hearing you say that, I'm like, Kate. I looked dead at Kate's frame. I was like, oh, no, no, oh my! But
Yes.
that's exact. He was a tall black man, and he was like, he looked dead at me and Paul out in the backyard, and he was like, "You're losing everything. I can't let you lose your jujitsu equipment too." Like that was it, because it was all hanging right there as you go in the door. Like literally all the water was starting to pour in right in that area, and he was like, "Nope," and threw it outside. Like
Wow.
threw it outside and was like, "I'm not letting you guys lose your jujitsu." And I had just started jujitsu.
You
Like
should talk a little
literally I
bit.
had just started.
You should talk a little bit
You're
about the
muted.
importance of jujitsu to to you, though. Like, go into detail about like what that has done for you. Can you hear me?
What's going on? Something's
It's the
going on.
angel. The
Oh no.
angel's like, no, no, I want her. Can you hear me?
I'm having trouble hearing.
We can
Oh,
we can hear you.
I don't think she can
Oh
hear
no.
us.
Maybe the setting in the
Here, let me
audio.
text her.
Oh yeah, she can hear us. Anyway, let me
Um,
say hi to some people. Hi, Eben Phyllis in
Oh
Rumble. Good
no.
to see you. And Rose Thistle. Good to see you. Chica Boom. And A Light in the Matrix. And Lulu. Good to see you. I saw you there. Patty Kittle. Good to see you all. And Debron. Good to see you
that's my
too.
mom.
Kate's mommy. Oh, she will come back in the
Yeah, I
chat.
just texted her and I told her to go out and come back in again.
Well, you want me to tell my story from the big black
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
I actually didn't
Please
tell it.
do.
Like,
Make sure it's
well,
the right one.
yeah. Well, actually, it was because my house was full of ghosts and I needed to move and I couldn't move. And it was incredible difficult. It was like these entities, whatever they were, they kept me from moving. I already had oh, there she is again, I think.
You
There.
can finish your story. Let's just make sure her sound works. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
Patricia's just gonna finish telling this story really fast.
I don't know
you
what
what?
the heck
Yeah,
that
really
was.
quick. So anyway, I'm about to move and I can't get out of that house for some reason. I cannot get out. So I already have the key for 2 weeks for my new house, and I'm still in the middle of. I haven't even packed anything because there was always something that was, holding me back. And so I go outside. I needed to wait for a truck to pick something up, and I'm waiting there, and there's this big black guy standing there, and I'm going, and he goes, this big smile that he had on his face, and he goes like, all cheery, and I'm like cranky as hell. And he goes like, what's going on? And I said, well, I tried to move, and I'm not able to. And he said, do you mind if I come in your house? And I'm like, sure. And so he comes in my house, and he says, okay, don't get in the bathroom anymore, don't get in your I was talking about entities being in my house, right? So, and I told him about a big sword that like a weapon that I had in my house. And he says, where is it? And I pointed at it, and he picked it up, and he just went on the floor. He went all African bush over it, and it turned out, well, he said he was a shaman from Africa and from the jungle or whatever, from the bush. And that's where he grew up. And so then he said, okay, get your cats, get your mattress, go to the new house and wait for 3 days, and then you can start moving. And he bought me flowers. I had to take that with me. So done that, uh, waited 3 days on a mattress in an empty house. And then finally the man told me that I was ready to pick my stuff and start moving. I did that. After a week, he came over, and I still didn't have everything in place. I literally had nothing, no couch, no nothing. So I just had a box and, a box as a table. And he goes, and this story is going to be a bit longer than I
No,
expected.
it's right.
But anyway, so he comes to my house, and he goes, okay, get undressed and get in the shower. And I'm like, excuse me, what? And but for some reason I trusted him, and I did it. And I stood there butt naked in my shower, and he got all the flowers and herbs, and he put them in a bucket, and he started throwing it at me and talking a language that I've never heard. And then he started washing me like everywhere. And then he said, okay, get dressed, and I'll be in the living room with tea. And I immediately put my bathrobe on. I go to my living room, and he's already sitting there with the tea ready. And I was like, how is that possible? How did he make tea in 1 minute and sits there and is ready? So anyway, he got that, and then he starts telling me what happened when before I moved. And he goes, I cried for 3 days straight because the entities that you had in your house were so dark, and they were holding you back. And so I helped. He buried the sword for me. He got rid of everything, and he helped me with that. And then eventually he said that I would have a great time in this new house where I was. This was 2014. My cats completely changed as well. And then he gave me his number, and he said, I have to go back to London, but you can always call me, because that's where he lived. He was visiting his brother, he said. And I said, okay. And so months later, never thought about it again, went on with my life, and things went really great. And then I thought, let me check. And I completely forgot his name. So I checked my whole phone for everything. I've never been able to look him up. Nothing. Not. I
Crazy.
have no clue where that man went. But he literally saved me there. And it was very special.
I totally believe items can have attachments to them, and you have to be real careful what you bring in your house.
Oh
Yes, we
yeah.
had them for generations in the house, and it was actually taken from. It was really used in wars in Africa as well. So it definitely had a lot of entities on it, but my house itself had it too. So I literally needed a help of somebody to to hold them for me, and so that I could move. And that's exactly what he did. But
Right.
yeah, that was. We can't hear you actually,
Yeah,
Barb.
I can hear her. You can't hear her?
No.
What?
Or
Oh, now I can.
made her leave again.
Man,
Sorry.
don't make me do this all over again. I don't know what that was. I have no clue. I couldn't hear you guys at all. I was like,
Mm,
Okay. Well, you're back now.
that was
yeah.
weird. But anyways, I'm back.
Yes.
Here I am.
So
I
when
was
we
like,
left,
Paul, get your butt in here. I don't know what's going on.
technical shit.
Yeah, he's the
Always.
one that does this, not me.
It always happens with these shows too, though, like, you know, for
You
whatever
talk,
reason.
well, I mean, come on, it's a spiritual war. Like, we're talking about our changes, our spiritual changes. I mean, they're gonna
Yeah.
be like, hey, we want to interrupt you,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, if they can flick on lights and flick them on and off, they can mess with frequencies and whatever
Oh yeah, oh
of
yeah. I mean, I'm wearing
technology.
my I'm like wearing my life wave patch. Hopefully that'll help.
Oh wow, I use
Keep these
those
things
too.
away. I love them. I
I
love them.
love them
I
too.
put mine on as soon as I woke up this morning. I was like, "Ooh, energy feeling a little bit off. Let's put one on." And ever since then, I'm doing perfectly fine now.
I need one of
They're
those.
amazing. Which one do you use? Sorry, that's
I'm using the LifeWave X49s.
oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have them in Mexico and I used them on my cats as well because we had to travel and
Are they
yeah,
He,
stickers?
yeah,
they're like
it's,
little. Hold on, let me
it's
see if I can.
acupuncture in a plaster. So
Hold on, let me see
In
if
it
I can
plastic.
show you.
Wait,
So
acupuncture?
yeah, so it's like acupuncture, but
it's like
it
a little
doesn't.
patch. See
It's a
it?
So,
patch.
okay, but does it
And
have little needles in it?
No.
no,
Oh,
you put
Mm-mm.
it on a very specific spot, a
acupressure.
meridian. Yeah, acupressure points, and it works from there. It works incredible on
It,
animals as well.
it works with your light and your energy of your own body.
Right.
See, this is what I love. All this, it's technology is magic to you when you don't understand it. But then once
Hmm.
you understand how these things work, this is becoming more mainstream now, which makes me really happy because we just don't understand our bodies, the technology behind them, really how to work them. And it seems metaphysical to people that don't really understand that there's actually science behind all this stuff. And this science, by the way, has been around forever. There are people that have known these things for decades. And, but the mainstream rolls their eyes at it because they don't have knowledge of these things. Well, now
Hmm.
that knowledge is starting to come back around again.
Yeah.
I used them for anxiety and for flying. It was incredible. I had them like here and one in the back, and I had them on my cats also for anxiety, but also after they had vaccination. And I did the one for the detox for them, and all black stuff came out of them. It was incredible. The whole patch was completely black, but it's amazing. It also had. Like a dog that couldn't walk, and they put the patches on these certain spots on his back, and he could walk again. It's amazing. Horses as well, they react very well to it. So the proof is in the pudding. When an animal reacts to it, then you
Hmm.
know. And that was for me why, because they're not incredibly cheap, I think,
Mm-mm.
but they're so worth it. And I
It is
only
so
took
worth
them.
it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I took them because I saw the effect on animals, and I watched dozens of videos about it. And actually, Kate, you can get an affiliate with it. Try them out first, obviously, and then you know you can get an affiliate. And then if people buy them,
That's what I mean. LifeWave. That's what Paul and Abs do.
oh, they do that too.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
They're sponsored by LifeWave. Yeah.
oh, that's
So
so
yeah.
cool.
So and I learned something new last night through them. If you use the X39 and the X49, it's like an EMF thing, and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah,
ooh. So I'm gonna try that in the next couple of days and see how that works, and I'm gonna let people know how that works because
I
Everything
had the
that's interesting to me. Like that
the
right there is
glutathione.
interesting.
I had the glutathione one,
I haven't
which
tried that one yet.
yeah, it's incredible for stress and anxiety as well. And the X39 I had as well. Life Wave, yes, it is. Aben Fellis. Um, People are obviously asking for it in the chat now. So if you have a link, Barb, just put it
Well,
in.
I mean, if you want the link, come and watch Absolute Storm tonight, and I will definitely put it
you
in
could
that
put it
chat.
in, yeah, you could put it in the chat too, or we can,
Well,
whatever, because people are looking for it. So go ahead
well,
and do
here,
that.
here, I'll
Yeah,
Um,
send it to
it's
you in text message.
Oh,
And do
okay.
your research on YouTube. Just go and check out videos about live wave patches.
They are,
And
the boys actually had her, the representative, on their show last night, and her and BB, Miss
oh
BB,
wow,
she was on there. Because Tuesday nights is their like Maha. I like
right,
that. I like how every other Tuesday they added Maha to this,
I love
because I
it.
mean everybody needs to know about our health.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kate, you know, you're big on that one. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like it's like she was on there for I think it was about 30 minutes to an hour explaining LifeWave and giving details and stuff like that. But it was really, really good. So if you didn't check last night out,
So
absolute storm.
everything is frequency, right? That's
Hmm.
what we are learning. I mean, it doesn't matter what the thing like matter or everything is just vibration of the same thing. The same molecules make up the entire universe, and it just depends on what rate it's vibrating at that changes everything. And so that's kind of the idea behind alchemy. Alchemy
Hmm.
says that if you can change the vibration of something, you can change the matter into any matter you want,
Right.
so I think they used to have this technology. I think all of these old buildings, cathedrals, and stuff like that that we see around the world, that, by the way, we cannot replicate with all of our technology, and we tell ourselves they were primitive and we are the enlightened ones, and we really are. Now we are living in the dark ages. This is the dark ages.
Right.
Right.
And those people had technology that we can't even come close to replicating. Not only are these big and magnificent, they are precision perfect, and they have resonance. They've proved this. They've gone into these old cathedrals, and they have, if they play music, they play sounds, the way they reverberate. A lot of times they'll have these big flower of life windows in the front of these cathedrals that will be a certain pattern, and that's the pattern of the resonance of that cathedral. Like, we don't know that stuff. We can't do that right now. So this civilization that lived before us definitely had, I mean, there's no denying it. Like, they want us to say, oh, well, we can't explain it, so just forget about it. We can't
Right.
explain how they just had a better work ethic. They were really good with those chisels and those
Right.
donkeys, and they just really worked those slaves to death. And people, by the way, men, women, and children were all artisans and skilled craftsmen and whatever. So that's a whole other thing. But those people knew about
The
resonance,
frequencies.
the frequencies. That's what Nikola Tesla, I don't know if he brought some of that stuff with him from the old world to the current world, and or if he was given that or what, but that's what he tried to teach. And they stifled him.
Yeah.
He died penniless,
Hmm.
and he had one of the best minds in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, why do you why do you think they took church bells off of churches?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Think about that one. How rare do you hear a church bell now? How rare. And when you do hear one, what does it do to you? What does
Yeah.
it do to you? It
they're
it
out of
lifts you up in a certain way, like that sound of that church bell going. It just, and the certain sounds that those bells give off. Not
yeah,
just the way they're doing it, because it is a pattern. Some of them are patterns, but it's the sound of that pattern. And
right.
it's like they're taking bells out of churches. They're taking organs out of churches.
Yes.
Why? Why?
Well, Europe,
Exactly.
thankfully, we have a lot of them still in Europe, and but the bells, indeed, I used to actually live next to one, and obviously now I live in the city, so it's really hard to hear one to begin with. But in the little villages, they still have them, but because we have obviously cathedrals and stuff like that, so they have multiple bells. Italy has it as well, and France. But you're right. I mean, they're taking the same actually with the windows on the church.
Mhm.
The
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're called. The stained
The
Stained
glass.
stained
glass.
glass. Yep.
Yeah, so they come in with these restoration projects, but really
Mhm.
what they're doing is they're demolishing some of these elements. So
Yep.
there's no restoration needed. If you look at these buildings, they are still perfect today. That's another thing that we know. We don't have the technology to replicate these. Everything we build turns to shit in 100 years or less, probably
Yep.
sooner. But what they built is still standing perfectly. It doesn't need restoration, other than maybe get a little bit of cleaning here and there. They still stand perfectly. So when they come in with these restoration projects, just know they are actually in there removing some of the technology and some of the things that kind of point to the fact that our history is a fraud.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, the pyramids, I mean, there's so many things out there that they used for frequencies and even light. Like it's so, you need the sun. You
Hmm.
need that energy from that sun. You need it. And there's all these storms. Like that's another thing that I've been looking at is like these storms, they're covering the sun. We're not
Yeah.
getting sunlight right now. Like
Well,
for the past 4 days here, no sun. It's been
Well,
rainy or overcast. And I'm sitting here going, we need the sun.
yeah.
People need that energy from that source.
that's
We're
what
just
the
like
cloud
plants.
seeding and all of the chemtrails and stuff, same thing.
Mhm.
It puts a haze over this. We're not getting the direct contact with the sun,
Yep.
same thing. But,
Yep.
I talked about this the other day on my show also. I swear he's not paying me. I just love his content, so I keep bringing him up. But there's a guy called My Lunch Break who talks about all this stuff, and he goes through all the pictures of the old world buildings that are still up, and he does really great research. But he talks about how, these buildings were not meant to be churches or
Mm-mm.
cathedrals. They weren't meant to go and sit in, and that's told by the fact that all the buildings are stone and old and whatever, but all the pews are new. They weren't meant to go and sit in there for long, extended periods of time. They were meant to go in. They were probably frequency machines where you got yourself calibrated and
Right.
whatever. Now there's this story about, oh, it was religion that built these, and they put the antennas that were on the top of these frequency machines, they replaced them with crosses and said, oh, it was just the devotion to God that built these, which is believable to people that love God. But at the same time, we have to question, is that really the original goal of these buildings, especially when most of these buildings have a lot of I don't know if you want to call it paganistic or whatever symbols or symbolism on them, different characters and the stuff with like the planets and all kinds of stuff like that. I mean,
Right.
anyway, he does really good digs on that stuff, which it's like all I want to talk about ever.
But that's true, because I had this once when I lived in Italy, and my grandfather was in Indonesia, and he was really sick, and they said maybe he has only a few days to live, and he was
Catholic,
Catholic,
Catholic.
Catholic,
Catholic.
Catholic, and so I just went, and obviously Italy has a lot of Catholic churches, so I went to search for a church, but I still had agoraphobia. It was really scary to go, and so the first church I go in, and there's this big door, it's open, and I look in, and I just was like, I'm just gonna walk in, and right in front of me there was a coffin, so there was a funeral going on, and I was like, okay, not that one. So I had to walk to another one, got to the other one, almost in a panic attack, and I was like about to get an incredible panic attack, and I walk into that church, and all of a sudden, everything just calmed down. And I was like, what is this? This is so weird. And I calmed so much down that I was like, I started crying because I didn't know what it was.
Mhm.
And I lighted a candle for him. And then I went back home. And actually there was, I don't know, is it a pastor, a priest? I'm sorry, I'm not like
Depends on probably a priest if
Y-
it's in a cathedral.
right. So he just took me in his room for a moment and just talked to me for a bit, and I was just incredible peaceful. And so then I got home, and then I got a call from Indonesia that my grandfather was better. And I was like, wow. And he
Wow.
lived for yeah, quite some years. He lived until 96.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
amazing. But what stood out to me was from the moment before I got to that church, and I was still far from my house, and I was like a lot of anxiety. And yet, the moment I went in that church, the way that I calmed completely down just got to me. And now I just want to flee into churches if I have panic attacks.
Yeah. You know what was crazy to me, Patricia, when I was in Belgium, when we were in, I think it was Brussels or it
Ghent,
was what?
Didn't you went to Ghent as well?
I did, but I went all over. We went to Antwerp,
Right.
Brussels, Ghent. Jens is that how it's pronounced?
Ghent.
Oh,
G
Ghent.
with Ghent. Yeah.
Ghent, Bruges, all over the place. But there were these
Beautiful.
cathedrals, and they literally put these panels on the side of them that are urinals. So men can just go up and pee on this incredibly ancient, beautiful cathedral. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. But all those old buildings and all of that, I mean, there is that feeling of it's a resonance. It's you don't get those feelings from modern buildings. If you look at modern architecture, it's big, it's brooding,
Right.
it's
Square.
angular and hard. Exactly. It doesn't
Yeah.
give you that feeling. It feels harsh. It feels gross.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
when you go in, like here in the South, because I'm a Yankee, but in the South, when you go to like an old Southern church, that you get that vibe, that feel like you're in a place of peace, if that
Right.
makes like that
Yeah.
like I've been to many churches, Southern churches here, even the Southern Black churches here.
Wow.
Those ones are so like the energy in those ones, because my friend, he was like, Barb, you've got to come to my church. And I'm like, but I'm not
I'd
really a
love
church
to do that.
person. And he was like, but just come. And I'm like, all right, dude. So I went, and I mean, I enjoyed it with him and his family because he had a big family. He was like one of 14 children. Like, yeah,
Wow.
he big family. But I mean, it was just enjoyable, and the energy, their energy was just like so uplifting. But the Southern churches here, if you go into the country, not these big ones, not these big cathedral ones that are new, because you could feel that difference. And I know exactly what you're talking about. You go into the new ones and it's like you kind of feel like it's commercial. Like
Mm,
Right.
it's a like commercial.
yeah.
It's a part of another chain of churches kind of thing. But
Right.
you go to these country ones and you get that vibe of, this is church.
Yeah.
This is where people come to say, I am here for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what those are the churches, even not in a church, like when I'm around my people and we start talking about him and start talking about stuff in the Bible and just spiritual stuff, I'm like, this is my church. This is
Right.
my church. These are my people. Like, we can talk about this, be comfortable about it, and not feel obligated to talk about it, if that makes sense. Because I feel like in a commercial church, as I call them, you're obligated. You have to be like a part of the church and stuff like that. With me, I like to just get together with my friends and just let's talk about God. Let's
Yeah.
just talk about him. And you don't have to say anything. Listen. You don't even have to say a word. Just listen to what we have to say. And
Right.
that's my church. Like even for like Absolute Storm Sundays shows, that's my church. Like
Yeah.
their Sunday night shows are that's where my people are, in the chat, in the view of Abs and Stormy and their guests that they have on sometimes. That's my church.
Yeah, it's about community, you know.
Hmm.
But I've always wanted to go to a gospel church. I think that would be so freaking amazing.
It was a
And
beautiful thing.
I grew up in both churches, so with all religions. So I'm not religious because, if you're a child and you grow up with different religions, then you're like, okay, this doesn't make any sense, right? So, but that doesn't mean I don't respect it, and I definitely love, if it's, as long as somebody is not just pushing it on me or whatever.
Right.
I would love to go to a gospel church and just be there and sing with these people, although I couldn't even sing because I would scare everybody away. But but
But it's
the
fun.
energy,
Yes,
yeah,
the
the
energy, just
energy,
to feel the energy. Yeah. The energy
absolutely,
that's the most important thing, is the energy and the connection that you make
yes,
with the people themselves.
right,
That's one of the reasons I don't like organized religion, is because I do not believe that there are holy men that are between us and God. Like we have to go to this particular priest to, convene with God and whatever it is. I think everybody has their own connection with God. And that's why when two or more people gather, you each
Hmm.
bring your own connection, and it only amplifies you know, you only need that one other person to amplify whatever it is you got going on with God,
Right.
that vibration, whatever, and you bring more and more people together. It's all about that. We don't need to go to special places or have special people talk to God for us. It's all in us.
Yeah. I mean, look
True.
at the baptism. Like,
Right,
we
right.
didn't go, me and Paul didn't go with your typical pastor. It was Greenbeard. It was Pastor
Right.
Greenbeard. Like, everybody was
Oh,
like, he's got a green beard. And
So
and like, he did a beautiful job. Like, he did what we asked him to do. Like
correct.
not to do, but you know what I mean? Like, he did and we were his first ceremony. Like,
Oh,
cute.
me and
really?
Paul, yeah. So it does, look at the people that were there. We only had 17. We only had 17 people there. Like, literally, we
The
only had
number.
17. And it was honestly, we thought it was going to be smaller than that. But I mean, some of our friends ended up coming and showing up and surprising us and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, see, that's God. Like, he was
Yeah,
like, you need these people around you during this special time. Like, that was our congregation at that
Right.
time. Like, we all felt God, that, like, after the ceremony, we all were like, that was special. We felt God. You guys are amazing. Like, we had dolphins in the background while we were getting
Yeah.
baptized. We had stingrays jumping out over my shoulder in the background while we were saying our vows. Like,
Wow.
and then the 17 in the sky, the rainbow in the sky. Then we see all kinds of things in the clouds. Like, it was just, God at that time was right there with us and the people that were with us. And it didn't have to be in a church, it was on the beach.
right.
Hang on, I've seen those pictures. I saw them on X, and oh my God, that were you. That was you. And oh my God, of course I saw those. Yes.
It did it again. Be right back.
Oh no. Yeah, it's so cute. It's so cute. And I love how all those little symbols, she was sharing videos and stuff with me. And so I got to see all the little symbols. But once you're tuned into that stuff, you start noticing it everywhere.
Right.
Oop, here she is. Oop, here she is.
My God, I don't know why. It's like every time I touch something on this mic, I might need to get a new mic.
Oh, maybe it's the cord or something. Like sometimes the
Right.
Right.
cord or the connection.
I might have to do that. I might have to look into that.
Yeah, because then it switches off to your computer microphone. So then you have to change that again in the settings, probably.
Farah says, tell Patricia I'm not religious. She thought I was.
Oh, you're not? I did think that you were. Oh, I'm sorry, Kara. Well, I'm
But this is
sorry. I'm
but
not.
this is like most people I know there now. Like strong connection to God, big belief in Jesus or whatever it is, but they're like, I don't subscribe to the religion aspect of it. I have my own relationship with the Bible. I have my own relationship with God. I have my own relationship with whatever. And I think that's so beautiful because it only makes it less of a separation between
Hmm.
the nuances of what we believe, the
Yep.
differences of what we might believe, and like, oh, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm whatever. Instead of that, can we all just agree on the things that we agree on, that I think most people, when they're looking at it, have the same feelings, the same experiences
Right.
for a lot of the things that are important for us to connect on.
Hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
Chika says there's a big difference between being religious versus being spiritual. I agree, but even that got weaponized against us because if you say
Right.
that you're spiritual, people are going to accuse you of being new age. And then they have this
Right.
Yeah.
whole set of whatever in their mind spiritual means. They're thinking that you're sitting there, with crystals and drawing a pentagram on your floor.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but as long as I think community, that's a nice thing you said there, Barb, because I do think that in itself is a whole spiritual experience as well. And we're going in a deeper level now these days. Especially after these dark night of the soul, what you talked about, then you go so much deeper into connection with people because you've been through crap, and that's what these dark night of the souls are for, I guess, because it brings us closer together
Hmm.
and it gives us more empathy and understanding also for others that go through rough things. Even if it's not the same thing, but you still can, relate in their pain and their suffering. And yeah, so I think that's why it's also needed. Obviously, some get it worse than others, but then again, we all get what we can carry, I guess.
Mm.
Hmm.
Doesn't feel like that during the time. You're like, this is way too, this is,
No, you're
No,
like, I can't carry this.
yeah.
it's almost like something like I've talked to Paul about it. It's like before you come here, I feel like you sign, it sounds weird, a life contract.
Yes,
You kind of agree to this life. Your soul, your energy agrees to going through what you are going through, but you
exactly.
have to do it in your own discernment way, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
you you sign this contract. Okay, I went through all this, and all right, yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. I didn't think I was signed up for this.
yeah,
But look at what it does for you. Like,
Yes.
look at the person it changes you into. Um,
right,
if I didn't lose my mom, I wouldn't have gotten as strong as she said I could get,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. She's always told me, Barbara Jean, you are a strong woman. Why don't you use it? Why don't you show it? I had nothing to show for it. Like, I had no reason to be that strong person. When she died, it was like, oh my, like, okay, my strength, my rock, besides my husband, is gone.
right,
Like, so I have to take what she said and what she taught me and turn that into, all right, here we go. I got to be that strong woman. And then when the house fire hit, it was like my mom inside of me going, Barbara Jean, you can do this. You've got this. You take care of this family, and you do it with the biggest strength that you've got inside of you right now. Even though you're going through a lot of shit, you go through it strong. And I did. I helped this
mm,
family. Paul and I got us into this house. We got his mom and dad with furniture. We did it all. We took
wow,
care of them like they were the children.
Mhm.
And that's no not like Paul and I are thankful we were able to do that. Because I mean, if it was just them, it would have been so much on their plate.
Yeah.
Plus Paul's mom's health wasn't that great at that time, during the house fire. It was not good. She was going through dialysis and stuff like that. So it
wow,
was like, yeah, we were staying in a hotel for 3 months, 3 to 4 months. We stayed in a hotel while she was going through dialysis. So it's like going through all this, trying to find a home, taking care of her to get her to her appointments. But yet we got to go and also try and save what we can from the house, which was hardly anything. But you wanted to see if you could save anything and everything until that very last day.
Mhm.
And it was like, all right, Barb, you just got to be one strong, like one tough cookie that can't crumble. So that's what I ended up doing. And God told me, this is the life. I signed that contract. And I'm just taking it to where I need to be comfortable and happy, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like, even though shitty shit happens, I got to turn that into something comfortable. Be uncomfortable in the comfortable, or be
Yeah.
comfortable in the uncomfortable. There it is. Be
yes,
comfortable in the uncomfortable.
It's empowering to think that, because if you just feel like you're down here, you're being punished, or even if you just think I'm being tested, that's really hard to help you get through it. When if you think of it as in terms of, not only did I sign up for this, but I wouldn't have signed up for this if I couldn't get through it. I wouldn't
Right.
have put myself in this position if there wasn't a way out. So when you don't see a way out, you're like, okay, you don't give up looking. You're like, I
Right.
know
right,
it's there. Where is it? And every single one of us knows that we have probably been through circumstances where we did not see a way out. And then you find one. And then not only that, but you look back and you say, that needed to happen exactly the way it did.
Right. Right. I mean,
yeah,
you nailed it, Kate, right there. Like that, it needed to happen to make me who I am right now.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've obviously been talking about the Dark Night of the Soul. I think that's the whole purpose of it, and exactly what you said, I do believe as well, exactly like you and everybody in the chat, by the way, too, is like, we come here with a soul contract or for this life,
Mhm.
and once you're going through that, I mean, when I went through that, uh, it didn't feel like I could carry it, right? But at the end of the day, I got through it. And so I did. I was able to carry it, and you were able to carry it, and we all were. But it's always after the fact that we realize all the lessons that we've learned, and it's absolutely amazing how how it feels that you think like, holy, I just came from that, right?
Right.
And I got out of it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
I mean, my modeling, my modeling was literally like, in a way, it was my outlet in the dark days, but it was a bad outlet. Like, I wish I didn't do it, but then again, I'm like, you know what? But I grew from that. I
Right.
yeah,
grew being that person, and I realized I don't need to be that person.
right.
Like, that person doesn't need to be for me to be happy. And that's what I learned through the modeling stuff. Like, the modeling stuff was really, I did that for 7 years, and that was, I
Yeah.
do wish I didn't do some of the stuff that I did, like the implied nudes. I mean, that I wanna take
What's
back,
that
but
like?
you can't. But you
What's
can't.
implied?
But you can't take that back,
I know.
and it's like, "You know what? Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm
Embrace
not
it.
that person. That's
Right.
not who I
It's
am now."
it's what you're doing, it's not what you did.
Mhm.
We all have a past, and if as long as you change it, it doesn't.
Exactly.
I'd rather have a person that did, bad stuff that now is does good stuff than somebody who's just done mediocre stuff and continues to do mediocre stuff. And
Right.
quite frankly, we're here for the experience. We aren't here to just skip through the daisies and be like, a lot of, I mean, maybe there are people like that. I do think that there are people who their job right now, and man, I am so jealous, is just to hold the frequency of love. Like I do know people with beautiful lives who just hold that frequency of love, and they don't seem to get touched by the darkness as much,
Right.
but they also
Right.
aren't having as much growth as other people. Whereas the
Right.
rest of us kind of have to touch the darkness so that we can build a bridge for others, so that we can be there for others and, pass the torch on. And don't begrudge your past. Everybody's got their own story, and the story at the end of it is always magnificent. And sometimes if
Mhm.
we're lucky, actually many times if we're lucky, we'll be able to look back on certain parts of our lives and say that story was grotesque, but it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not many people know this about me, but I used to date the girl. That was a that was a really, like, uh an experience. My mom and dad used to say it was a phase and everything like that. And at the time, I was like, "Yeah, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I'm in love with this person, doesn't care if, they're male or female." At the time, I had just gotten out of a really dark male relationship. So I was like, well, I'm going to try the other side. Why not? So I did, and it was okay. Like, my soul was not fully there. And when that breakup happened and I found Paul, the soulness was like, okay, you're back. You're back. This is
Right.
this is the path you need to be on. Like, literally, my soul was like, this isn't right. Like, her and I had all kinds of relationship issues, like abuse, verbal, physical, all kinds.
Mhm.
And it was like, at the end, before I met Paul, I was like starting to feel not me. Like, I wasn't feeling Barb. And I got out of that relationship. And then when I found Paul, it was like my soul was like, this is where you need to be. Like, not knocking any gays or bisexuals or anybody like that. But my soul was telling me this is the path you need to be on. So your soul can tell you what is good and what is not good. Like just by in like your intentions, like me having that really, 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 really bad relationship with that person, and then finding Paul in my soul saying, this is where you need to be. And he even had a glow around him when he come walking down that parking lot. Like it was really
That's
odd.
good.
Like he had a glow around him, and I was like, this guy is about to change my world. Like
Wow.
that's what I was going in my head. Like this dude right here is about to change my world. And he has,
Mm.
Right.
and for the better. And that's what God was doing with my soul at that time. Like he was telling me, hey, that's not you, this is you. And this, I think, is the path you need to take. So wake up and let's take this path.
It's interesting how some people who are important in your life, there are those things where like all the signals, the feelings, everything is there. I
Hmm.
mean, not even just necessarily romantic. Sometimes you just meet a
Right.
person. Like I've told the story about my friend Carol Lee a million times. That makes it sound like we were lesbians because I had this like connection to her before I even met her. I saw her pictures and I was like, oh my God. And so, but she ended up doing things. She sent me on a different trajectory in my life. She was the reason I moved to Orange County. She was the reason I met my ex-husband. Like, there's no denying that her coming into my life was for a certain purpose. And when we backtracked our lives, once we were friends, we found out we lived in the same apartment building 3 separate times in 2 different states.
Wow.
And we dated the
Wow.
same guy at the same time when we were both in college. She's from Alaska and I'm from California. And just our lives were doing this until we met. And so, with her, it was like that feeling of I just knew she was going to be important to me. But not everybody is like that. And sometimes somebody will be
Hmm.
around for a while and you kind of take them for granted and you're kind of like, because those bells don't go off. And like I said, it's not just about romantic relationships.
Mm-mm.
It could be a friendship, it could be a family member, it could be a business partnership, whatever it is. This person is put in really basically, I think there's nothing that's superfluous. Everybody is in your life for a reason. Every character is cast for a reason. And there have been people that for a long time I was like, oh, you're not important, you're not important, you're not important. And then all of a sudden they become massive in my life. And that's a really important lesson because you learn not to take people for granted. That's why I love those stories of like God coming down to earth and disguising himself as it's like undercover boss. He disguises himself as like
Yeah.
a homeless person or whatever to gauge like how we treat people, even when
Hmm.
we
Right.
don't feel like they have something to offer us. And that is the
Right.
true gauge of character.
Agree.
Right.
117%.
I knew it. I knew that was going to come out. The second you said 100, I'm like, here it comes.
Here it comes.
Here comes that
Here it comes.
17.
I use it
Uh,
all the time.
Well, I mean, how could you not? And it's, you got booted at this time, but we were talking about the symbols of, your ceremony and everything and how God sends
Right.
you those signals when you're ready for them. You have to be open to it. It's almost like you have to set your frequency to receive the phone call. It's,
Right.
if you have your ringer off, God's not getting through. But if you are open to those things and if you pay attention and take notice when they happen, I think you get them more often. And it's just kind of one of those little nudges to help you keep going.
Yeah. No, I mean, you could see it in in one of the videos, or maybe quite a few of the videos, but when we're standing there and we're saying our vows, Dave and everybody noticed the seaweed in 17
Mm.
literally right in front of us. And they were like, after the ceremonies, they were like, did you guys notice this? And we were like, no, we just stood, literally just stood right where we were. And Dave is literally bending down, circling it during the ceremony because they
Wow.
all noticed it. And it was just like, obviously, Paul and I were in the moment and we're not noticing what they're doing. But as soon as they told us about it, we both looked down and we were just like, God, like
Yeah.
17 all weekend, that whole weekend was nothing but 17 signs,
Yeah.
like all over the place. Like it was God speaking to Paul and I, and it was our 17th wedding anniversary. So
Wow.
it was like everything was just universe, God, spiritual, whatever you want to call it.
Aligned.
It was all there at the perfect time. And
Right.
we got all of our signs everywhere we looked. Everywhere we looked. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And I'm thankful we were able to share it with people online the way we were, because I had a lot of people coming to me in Messenger and even in comments, and even coming still to this day in the chats, that made their day.
Yeah.
Right.
That made their day. Just me and the boys sharing that day, just that day. Not the shenanigans that went on, which were unbelievable. Um, but that day, it made a lot of people, like they said, it brightened their day. It made their day a whole lot better because it started off kind of crappy. And I mean, just hearing those, this is why we do what we do in the moment and in the movement. And this is why I try and share some really special moments with people, because they deserve it too.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel special to share it with them, if that makes sense.
Well, that's so interesting because when I saw, and it's actually very recent, right? Because before, when you talked about it, I was like, it must be a few months ago. But as you were talking, I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen those pictures on X, and I remember looking at that picture, and I didn't even think about, like, obviously I knew it was apps, but I didn't think about it properly, and until you were talking about it now. But I remember looking at those pictures and I was like, wow, this is so special. And I actually stared at it for quite a while, and which I usually don't even do because it's like, oh, cute, people
Right.
getting married and whatever, move on. But I actually stared at those pictures. This is why I remembered it. And all the while it was exactly what you were talking about the whole time, and I'm like, no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
And
oh,
go ahead,
sorry.
Kate.
I
Go
was just
ahead.
going to say what struck me when you guys were talking just now is, we're talking about frequencies and frequencies aligning. Somebody whose frequency is ready to absorb, somebody that's kind of done the work, they will look at that and they will be uplifted by it, and it'll make them happy. It'll do something to them. Somebody who hasn't done the work, who let's say still has a lot of work to do, and they're in a different frequency, might look at those pictures and it might make them want to criticize. It might make them jealous. It might bring up all of these feelings where, when frequencies don't match, they butt up against each other and there's this
Right.
friction. So you have to be really willing and on that path of healing yourself and doing the work, whatever, in order to have a positive impact by all these signs and signals that are going to be around you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know, but not even a week before we went down and did that, Stormy's mom passed away. And
Wow.
Joe Rambo just moved down there, what, a month ago. So we all have also thought that this was another God sign that all of us needed to be together at this point in this time, because Stormy losing his mom, Paul and I know exactly what he's going through, how he feels. We
Yeah.
feel blessed to
Right.
have been there for Stormy during that time, and he was able to come and be with us and just let loose a little bit. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
Stormy. We love Stormy. Stormy's a little bit stiff, but he's fun. But he's
Yes.
fun. I love Stormy. Like we
Yes.
actually got to know Stormy during that time, and he loved his mom. And dude, if we were there to help him through this process just by being there for him during a beautiful ceremony and a beautiful weekend, and have him a part of it to help him, I mean, come on. I mean,
It-
who couldn't? I
Right.
think God did all that for a reason, because this whole thing almost didn't happen. This whole renewal thing almost didn't happen. Like everything me and Paul planned was falling apart. And then he made a post on X, and then from that one post, it all started falling into place and where it needed to be. And we all were there for each other at a specific time. And I honestly think that was God at work. I really do.
Wow.
I love that you brought up that, it's a blessing for you guys to have been there for him.
Hmm.
There's really
Yeah.
no bigger blessing in life than to be able to help another human being. And it's important to remind ourselves of that, because at one point or another, we're all going to need help, and
Yep.
we feel bad about it, and we feel low. I know I hate asking for help. I know
I do too.
it's bad. I don't like it. But instead of feeling like a burden, to remind yourself that you're giving somebody an opportunity to do one of the most beautiful
Right.
things that we can do as
Right.
human beings.
No,
So,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and also the time that you still have left with, your dads, and I was just watching a video about that like a week ago or so, and somebody saying all the things that he did with his mom, and he said even when she died, I was really sad, but I know that I didn't regret any second of it, because I made sure that all the last years I gave her everything that I could possibly do,
Yep.
and so there's no regret. Now obviously there's a missing, right? So my mom is 80, but she still actually travels all over the place more than I do. But she has a better social life than I do, and she goes to Spain, Indonesia, everywhere,
oh, I
right?
mean, like you and
But
me combined.
yeah, so but I said to her, if you're passing away, then make sure that you come back and give me a sign, right? And so we
Hmm.
we already have that like down, and so if anything happens and she passes away, then make sure that you're coming to me and let me know that you're here with me. And she said, yeah, I will do that for sure. And I'm like, okay, good. Anything can happen. I don't mind. I
No,
mean, obviously I do, but
Right.
it's you have a certain closure, right? It's terrible if you lose a parent, I guess, and there is regrets, or there is something that you still wanted to tell them and you couldn't.
Right.
Did
yeah.
you experience any of that? Or
There are some things that I do wish that I could have said.
mm,
There's some things that I wish I couldn't have said,
right,
but I also know now she knows.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like
absolutely.
I know, because I talk to her every day. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you
I
have
talk
to.
to her every day. I have to. Like that's my mom died with me when I was born, and they brought her back to life, and that's been our connection. And when she passed away, I knew, like I knew, because I didn't go back to the hospital when they were. My dad called me and he was like, "Well, we're about to, let her go," and I'm like, I can't do it. That's my best friend. Like, not only is my husband my best friend, I couldn't do that with him. I couldn't do it with my mom. And but I know I said some things in the hospital before she left. Um, but I think she knows a lot more now. Now that she's up there, and I can talk to her openly and not have to worry about a phone call or anything like that. I could just look
Right.
up and talk to her, and she sends me signs. I every day. Every day she sends me signs. So she's there. Carol's there. I know Carol, Paul's mom. She's there. I talk to her too. Yeah, she lets me know she's there.
It's
Well,
so
you
beautiful that you can connect quickly as well,
Yeah.
because I experienced it as well. My stepdad passed away, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, like a radio that is unplugged, uh, just went off,
mm,
and I was like, okay, I know it's you, right? And so I went, put it off, came back to bed. Next night, same thing, same time, same song. And I was like, yeah, I got it now. I know it's you, right? And it happened 3 times. And after that, it stopped. But, there are these things that we just know they're there.
Hmm.
And yes, you cannot hug them anymore. You cannot touch them anymore. But, it's beautiful that you do believe in that. And because, it gives comfort. And I actually do believe in it, that it's real.
Yeah.
yeah. And you're when they're down here, everything you're saying it to them, and you're saying it to a human being who is looking at and feeling it through the lens of being a human. And human relationships are complicated no matter how much we love each other. And there's just a difference that when I'm pretty sure that when we're gone from this realm and we don't have these, meat suits, that we are able to look at things not through the lens of all the complication of being a human being and our own insecurities and hurt and wounds and whatever. You're looking at it through just the pure soul, and that's the
Hmm.
real stuff.
Yep.
She doesn't um she gets it. I guarantee you, I can't wait to find out for sure. That's what faith does. Like, it's not scary to think about death. Obviously, we miss
Mm,
those people, and obviously we want them to be around because we want to share these moments, but I think we all pretty much understand that this is not it. This is the
yes.
pre-party, and this isn't even a pre-party. This is like the shit you have to get done before you can even get dressed for the real party.
Right.
And yeah.
No, I believe it. I believe it. I mean, I've before my mom passed away, my mom always said, because when she passed away, or when she died giving birth to me, she saw her father, and her father literally told her, "No, you can't go. You can't come. You have a little girl you
Oh,
need to take
wow.
care of." And when my mom came to, when my mom came to, this freaked my dad out. She goes, "So where's our little girl?" And he goes, how do you how do you know? Because they didn't do a gender thingy. They were like going to be surprised when she gave birth, so they
Oh.
didn't even know. My mom swore I was a boy, like the way I was moving around. She's like, "Dude, you were like a football player in my tummy, like
Mhm.
seriously." But she woke up and she looked dead at my dad, and she was like, "Where's our little girl? Is she okay?"
Oh.
And
She
he was like,
knew.
"What? Like, how did you know?" She goes, "Because I just saw my father." And
Wow.
when I turned, I think it was about 16, 15 or 16. I we were living in Lincoln, North Carolina, and we were living in the parsonage. Like, the pastor didn't live there, so he was like kind of renting it out, and we had just moved out of our trailer, and we were literally like looking for a place. So he was like, "I'll rent you the parsonage right behind the church, whatever." So we're living there, and I'm about 15, 16 years old, and there's a long hallway in between the bedrooms. So it was like my brother's room, my room, I had the middle room, and then my mom and dad's room, and then the bathroom. And it was so weird. I saw this guy, and it was very specific. I saw this guy walking by my door and then just disappearing. And
Wow.
I hadn't seen many pictures of my grandfather throughout my teenage years, because I wasn't interested in that. You're a teenager, your grandparents not, your grandfather's not around. He literally died a year before I was born.
Mm.
So I no interest, as a teenager. So my mom shows me a picture, because I tell her about this, and she shows me a picture, and it was my grandfather. It was my
Wow.
Transparency.
grandfather. So I do definitely 100% believe in angels. I 100% believe in angels. And I believe he has been my guardian angel. Now with my mom, I believe they're my guardian angels. 100%.
Yeah.
Absolute Conviction 1776, your hubby is in the chat. He says, "This has been a fantastic conversation. These are the kinds of discussions people really need to be diving into." I mean, I
Hmm.
agree. There are all kinds of cool, important stuff to be talking
Yeah.
about, but this is important for us to get to the nitty-gritty and not be about faith, because it's gonna help us through that other stuff. The
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
information war, all of it. I love you guys. I love you guys so
Mm.
much. Just two little shining angels of earth beauty. I'm so lucky to know you guys. We are connected by the stuff that we've been through. When we come together and we find out we have all these things in common, that's cool. And I I am glad to be, in this with you guys, fighting next to
Yeah.
you guys, and have you guys be my sisters. And just really
Yeah.
appreciative of you guys, and appreciative of everyone in the chat as well. You guys showing up for these
Yes.
shows, and being a part of it.
Yeah.
Barb, will you tell everyone where they can find you?
Well, they can find me on X mostly, because that's pretty much where I'm at. I don't even really use Truth Social much. Abs Wifey 1776 on X. You could also find me in the chats of Absolute Storm. I'm one of their mods. Me and Penny Lane are their mods in their shows. we also do Q for Dummies. Paul and Dave and Rambo started doing that. What was it? Last Monday, Kate, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
they
so.
started that last Monday. So yeah, I mean, you can find me in their chats and Rambo's chat, Dave's chat, Mark's chat. Oh yeah, you can find me on the huddle every now and then.
Yes.
So I mean, I pop in and out, guys, but mostly you can find me on X.
Well,
Hey,
thank you for sharing your story because I found it really beautiful and it really moved me as well. It actually still does, honestly, because I noticed that the more that I'm going, getting softer with myself, and then listening to other people's story, it just connects us all in a deep way, I do believe. And yeah, I love it. And thank you. Well, obviously, I don't love that you went through shit, but you know,
Well, I had to
but
go through the shit to get to who I am. So
yes,
exactly.
that's true. We all do. But thank you so much for sharing that because, especially, that man, I mean, that's so ridiculous that we had the same thing.
I know that's so weird.
I'm
I
I'm
really
love
still
curious
blown
how.
away by that. Like,
Yes.
holy moly, could it have been the same person? Like that's
Who
the thing that's
knows?
going through my head is like, I wish I
this.
could have gotten a picture of him.
The
Like
same
seriously.
angel. Listen, guys, from what I learned watching one of my favorite movies, Xanadu in the 80s with the
Is
with
it
the
your
with
favorite?
oh, I love it. I
Oh my
love it.
God. Olivia Newton-John is the only idol I've ever
Me
had.
too. Me
No.
too.
I
Yes.
I have my whole room full with Olivia Newton-John, and I
Oh,
still have, since I was
I
small, a
love it.
teenager, like a big scrapbook. It's just full with her. It's, oh my God, the only celebrity that I cried for when she died. It
I
was,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was sad. But they had, what is it, 8 or 9 muses? I don't remember how many muses are. I think
Right,
there are
seven, the
7.
seven sisters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7 sisters. So the 7 sisters that like all the men get their own muse, but then that muse goes to a different part of the world and then she's the muse over there. So maybe this was, some kind of guardian angel archetype that you guys both met and maybe it was the same one. Maybe he goes and visits a lot of people and maybe he was giving you those experiences partially so that you could connect on them later. This is why it's so
Ooh.
important for us to tell our stories and then we're like, it just makes it more real. It makes us, because it's very easy when we experience something incredible to doubt ourselves later. Did I really experience that? Was it really as what I remember it now? But to hear other people tell their stories too, it connects you back to that time and you're like, nope, it was real.
Well, you
Right.
want to know what's weird that I'm just sitting here connecting to, Kate, with you and I is the first when Paul and I legit started working on ourselves was Cocoa Beach.
Mm,
And then we end up there again for our renewal weekend
yeah.
to end the weekend. To end the because literally Paul and I we took a week. We ain't gonna lie, we took a week. Um, so that we ended it. It was like we began our full on relationship transition at Cocoa Beach with you guys,
Yeah.
In
and
Florida.
then we finished it like that circle thing. It's not
Mm,
finished because we're still going and we're still gonna
yeah.
be going through stuff, but it literally came to be at Cocoa Beach,
I love it.
Wow.
and with a rocket launch. How weird is all of that?
You
I
know,
love it.
our guest from last week actually lives there. So,
Does she?
yes,
I
she
didn't
lives
even
exactly
know
there.
that. Oh my
She,
God, that's hysterical.
yeah,
But
it
see
was
how
always
funny
a,
that like
Of all the
yeah,
how
it's
people.
weird is
crazy.
that?
A light in the matrix. Hi, Audrey. It says great, good combos. Love hearing how God moved in your life, Barb. Thanks for sharing the good news. Thank you.
Yes.
It's so cute. Yeah, everybody uplifting each other. I love that. I love this, and I
Also,
love
That's
you
what it's
guys.
about. That's
Chica
what it's
Bomb is
about,
out of
man.
tissues from crying. So, um,
I'm
Yes.
not gonna make anybody cry no more. I promise you guys.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
every time I share that video that Mark made, it's like, Barb, the onions, and I'm like, and then the one that Frankie Lane did. Oh my gosh.
I
The
don't
one
know if
that
I've seen
Frankie
that
Lane.
one.
You haven't seen that one? Oh
Send it to me.
man. I'll send you the link, but he did one, and everybody lost it last Sunday, and I'm like, I
Oh,
did my job.
cute. Roast This Art says, "Did you guys just become best friends, Barb and Patricia?" I love
Why
it so
not?
much.
Well, we already have cats in common as well.
I know
So
Yes.
you guys have a lot. You guys have a lot in common. Actually, now that I sit here with the two of you, I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you to Greenbeard also on Pilled over
Oh,
there.
Greenbeard.
Little cookie friend. All
oh,
right, guys. Well, Barb,
and
I hope you'll come back. Oh,
thank you for the rating my stream. I don't know what that means honestly, but I just see that.
Oh,
oh, it means that they take everybody from their show and they give them to
Oh,
you.
move
that's
it
so
over there.
sweet.
I
Thank
know.
you everybody to
We
be
might have to
here.
rethink the time slot because there's all kinds of moving pieces right now. There's so many people coming out with shows, which is awesome, and
Yes.
it would be awesome if we could just like not like whatever make it easier on everybody. But we'll see. Like right now, I got to go get my kiddo from school, so that's what I'm going to go do. But Barb, I
In
hope
and
you'll
out?
come back.
Are we going to In and Out?
We're not going to In and Out today. That's typically what he does with his dad on Fridays. That's their special thing. Sometimes I
Oh,
get to eat In and Out as well. I love In and Out. I mean, that's my guilty pleasure.
Well,
And
remember
it's
our phone call about a week ago, so I was like, In and Out.
yep, yep. It's that important to us. It really is. All right, guys. Well, we will be back next weekend, or I mean next week, Wednesday. Patricia, do you have any parting words?
no, thank you everybody for coming here, and thank you Barb again for sharing your beautiful story. And yeah, I'm glad that it's all behind you now. And yeah,
Mm,
we're moving on to the next hurdles. I don't hope not, but actually, I hope we're going up now, right?
Yes.
yes, absolutely. Okay, guys, hit like, subscribe, all the things. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.